All right, let's try to make sense of this because it's a wild one. Kraken lists Pi, and the price absolutely skyrockets, 126%. Awesome, right? Then Pi Day hits, and the price tanks, 30% in a single day. Make it make sense. If you're sitting there thinking, wait, does this kind of thing always happen with Pi? Well, the answer is yes, and I'm about to show you why. So let's just set the scene here. On March 13th, Kraken, which is a huge, highly regulated US exchange, officially listed Pi for spot trading. Now, you gotta understand, this wasn't just some random listing. This was Pi stepping onto the big stage. And the market reacted just like you'd think it would. Leading up to that big day, Pi's price rallied a massive 126% from its February lows. It hit a brand new high for the year, the vibes were immaculate. And then came March 14th, Pi Day. The biggest community celebration of the entire year. With all that Kraken momentum, you'd be forgiven for thinking the price was about to go to the moon, right? Yeah, wrong. The price completely fell off a cliff, tumbling by nearly 30%. It was actually the worst performing coin in the top 100 that day. So what on earth is going on here? That's exactly what we're about to figure out. So here's the game plan. First, we'll dig into what this Kraken listing really means. Then, I'm gonna show you a surprising price pattern that once you see it, you can't unsee. We'll get into the why behind it all, we'll cover the validator rewards that people have been waiting for forever, check out the network's overall growth, and then wrap it all up with one key takeaway you need to remember. Okay, so let's start with the big one, the thing that kicked off all this recent drama, the Kraken listing. And let me tell you, this was so much more than just another exchange. This was a potential game changer. See, before this, Pi was mostly on smaller exchanges, but Kraken, they're in a different league. They're one of the most regulated, most respected platforms in the US. They don't just list any old coin. So a move like this, it screams legitimacy to the rest of the crypto world. It also opens the floodgates to US traders who had trouble getting Pi before. And you better believe it puts pressure on the other big players like Binance and Coinbase to start paying attention. And really, this is the unspoken message that Kraken sent out. When an exchange with their reputation does all the homework and decides to list a token, that carries some serious weight. It's basically a massive vote of confidence that's worth way more than just trading fees. So naturally, the market went absolutely nuts in anticipation. The price more than doubled, jumping from just 13 cents all the way to 30 cents. Trading volume exploded by 175%. And for the chart watchers out there, we even saw a golden cross, which is a super bullish signal that suggests a major shift in momentum is coming. Which, of course, brings us right back to our big mystery. The listing was a huge win. The rally was incredible. The momentum was clearly there. So why in the world did the price tank on Pi Day, of all days? Well, it turns out this has happened before. All right, pioneers, listen up, because I am about to show you a pattern that will literally change the way you look at every single big Pi event from this day forward. Once you see this, you will never, ever be able to unsee it. Okay, let's look at the scoreboard. Back in February 2025, the OKX listing. Price hits an all-time high and then drops 21%. Pi Day 2025, price falls 66% that month. May 2025, the founder makes a huge public appearance at Consensus, price down 42%. That same month, a $100 million fund is announced, price drops after a 200% rally. September 2025, the big Seoul meetup, price down 19%. And now, March 2026, down 30%. Are you seeing it yet? 6 massive positive events, 6 massive price drops right after. So, what is going on? Is something wrong with Pi? Nope. This isn't a Pi problem at all. This is a classic, well-known market phenomenon, and it actually has a name. Buy the rumor, sell the news. And the idea behind it is actually pretty simple. All the hype and excitement for some good news in the future, that's what makes the price go up. But then once the news actually happens, well, the hype is over, and all the traders who got in early, they start selling to lock in their profits. And that selling pressure causes the price to fall. And this is so important to understand. Pi is not special here. This happens all across crypto. Remember the Bitcoin halving? The price basically went sideways for months. The Ethereum merge, maybe the biggest upgrade in crypto history. Ether's price dropped 20%. When Cardano finally launched smart contracts, ADA's price fell 45%. It is the exact same pattern playing out with different coins. So it all comes down to this 4-step cycle. First, you have anticipation building for a big event. Second, you get the rally before the event happens. That pump is the move. Third, the event actually happens. The news is out and there's nothing left to anticipate. It's already priced in. And finally, step 4, the sell-off, where early birds take their profits. This isn't some grand conspiracy. It's just market psychology in action.
Okay, so while that explains the crazy price action, there was another massive piece of news on Pi Day that a lot of you have been waiting like 5 years to hear. So if you've been a KYC validator, listen up. This is your moment. The rewards are finally here. As of Pi Day 2026, that first round of rewards is officially being sent out. And the math here is pretty simple. The pool started with 16.5 million Pi from all the migrations. Then the Pi Foundation threw in another 10 million Pi as a bonus. That gives us a grand total of 26.5 million Pi, which needs to be split up among 526 million successful validations. So when you do the division, that works out to about 0.05 Pi for every single successful validation you did. Now, I know that might sound like a small number, but the core team put it in perspective. This is 21 times the current base mining rate. So compared to just mining, it's actually a really nice bonus. Now, there was a huge question that came up from validators who, after some periodic security checks, found their own accounts had been reverted to a tentative KYC status. So they'd done all this work, but the big question was, would they still get paid if their own accounts were under review? And the answer is a big, resounding yes. They are absolutely getting paid. The rewards are showing up in their wallets. The Pi Core team recognized that these folks completed real work, and they're honoring that work no matter what the validator's current KYC status is. This is a really, really positive sign that the team is trying to be fair and separating the work you've done from any review of your own account. All right, let's zoom out for a minute here. It's so easy to get caught up in the daily price swings, but if you look at the network's actual growth, it tells a much, much bigger story. I mean, just look at these raw numbers. 18 million pioneers have finished their KYC. 16 million of them are already on the mainnet. The network itself is being secured by over 400,000 active nodes. We've got more than 300 apps live in the ecosystem, and check this out, 148,000 local sellers are accepting Hi for goods and services. The fundamental growth here is just undeniable. And that wasn't even everything. On Pi Day, the core team also announced the Pi Launchpad to help developers build new apps. They confirmed they're making progress on second migrations, they launched mainnet payments right inside the App Studio, and they rolled out a whole new protocol upgrade. This is real work, real infrastructure being built as we speak. So let's wrap this all up. Where does Pi stand today? Well, the Kraken listing has opened up a massive new door. The price did its thing. It pumped and then corrected, following the exact same pattern we've now seen at least 6 times. And maybe most importantly for the long-term health of the network, validators are finally getting paid for all their hard work. So I'm gonna leave you with this final thought. Just by understanding this one pattern, buy the rumors, sell the news, you are already way ahead of most people in crypto. So the next time a huge announcement for Pi drops and you see that chart start to move, you'll know exactly what's likely coming next. The real question is, what are you going to do with that knowledge?